Hey, sir.
And welcome back into OpenLine. I'm Chuck Long here with Kevin Kennedy. Ask an expert, ask an attorney. It's our last segment for the evening, so make sure if you've been thinking or contemplating one of those legal questions, give us a call. The number is right there on your screen, 737-7587. Kevin, one of the things that I was thinking about recently, and people, I mean, quite frankly, asking for a friend, but you get some of these, notifications from your insurance company. Okay. And it's saying, you had this service done, you had this service done, but it also said sometimes we send these out and they may not be, correct.
Yes.
How do you know? How do you fight that? What do you do when the insurance company starts doing that?
Well, the best way to handle dealing with the insurance companies is you can work them like they are working you. You can find out who you're, and that's why I really do like a local rep. And I like to call them, and if it's Melinda's doing the talking or Joey's doing, I would love to get their name. And then you could always send a letter back. Now I'm educating the public. And just say, Melinda, it was nice to talk to you today. You maintained that I was covered up to this on that. And then they may get gun shy of you, but you're trying to have a good understanding. Am I covered? Am I not? Because remember, insurance companies have error and omission insurance. You know what that is? When they make a mistake, you could make a claim against them and you say, hey, I'm going to buy a new car. Am I covered coming home? Yeah, great, Kev. Come home, have a wreck. Insurance company says, you weren't covered. Wait a minute, they've been my friends all these years. So it could happen to me. I went through the tornado of '99 and I knew that I had this piece of property insured and multiple properties insured, and so they paid on this and said, well, we don't see coverage. Hello, come in. And I said, well, we're going to have to do something else because I'm not going to accept that. I know that we had coverage. I saw the people don't come take pictures of your property unless they insure it, and I had a big stack, and we got that resolved.
Do the insurance companies, when they put out something like this and send it to you online that says you may be receiving bills, this may not be a bill that you should be receiving, do they do that to cover their
Yes. And what I see quite often, we've got a policy and they'll send out a notice. By the way, there is a notification that any kind of terrorist activity, if a terrorist blew up your home, you don't have any coverage. Wow. Hello, come in. So they can, and remember, when you have a loss, that's when everybody lines up. They're the greatest friend in the world when they're selling, and that's why they always say, well, you've got to make a claim. This is a separate person. Chuck's the greatest salesman ever. Yeah, Chuck, I believe Chuck. Well, then Chuck is just the man. Then we go to the new person, the adjuster. They're nice, until you try to get paid. Then it changes.
All right, well, that's good for me to know that friend will know since I was asking for him. All right, let's go back to the lines right now. Robert on the line with us. Robert, good evening. What's your question for Kevin?
Good evening. Quick question. When you're going down like the legal rabbit holes, I guess is a good way of putting it, how's the best way to fight a company who would not honor their work or their warranty, like year warranty for services? And unfortunately, I'm going to have to go down the rabbit hole by myself because no one seems to want to help. How do you get down that?
I know
find out all the rules and stuff, not being an attorney. How can you find out all this information? Because otherwise, yes, you don't know how to play the game.
Okay, well, people get ripped off every day. We're on guard. Caveat emptor is a Latin, let the buyer beware. So when you have a company and they don't live up to their representations, that's why we have Tennessee Consumer Affairs. You can file a complaint with them. You can file a complaint with the Better Business Bureau. If their actions are criminal, you can seek the district attorney, get a detective, make a police report, let them investigate. If it's a federal offense, you can talk to the U.S. attorney and let them pursue. But remember, if you do nothing, you get nothing. The squeaky door gets the oil. That's been said for years and years and years and years because there's truth and wisdom in that saying. So yes, I see it every day. Before the week is out, somebody will be in and they have been done wrong by a company. And they make you sign all these papers this deep and they'll say you only can go to arbitration. I don't like that. that means you're cut off from the courts. I don't. Then they say, well, this is only can be litigated in Las Vegas, and you agree to that. That's bad too. So when I have so many things, a lot of flags go off. Chuck and I were talking during the break. If they say, hey, we want all the money up front on this particular deal, every flag should go off because it is dangerous. And people can say anything, so you just need to protect yourself. Is there a magic wand? No. Use your best judgment. Get some advice from a friend. I like to have a friend with me and discuss it. If they say, I don't like the sound of it, then don't do it. Who was it? He said, when in doubt, don't. That was Benjamin Franklin.
All right, Robert. Glad that you called in, and that was a great question. He really kind of had that.
It's thousands of people that's listening. I know it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. If you do have one of those legal questions, make sure you get online with us just as quickly as possible. We have time for about 1 or 2 more of those calls. We are going back to the lines right now. Don is on the line with us. Don, we're glad you're calling in.
Hey, this is I want to thank you for the advice you gave me. It did get some results because I was really off the hinge about being stalked. Now, I told you about the guy who had adjacent to a lot belonged to a police officer, and I was being stalked and everything like that. But, you know, you gave me good advice, and I wasn't about to do nothing violent. But, you know, the sensible thing about this is talking to a lawyer, you great good advice, and this guy is going to lose that lot, and the police officer over there heard everything I said, and you made sense, and I think talking to you made a difference. Now, I'm not a violent person, but you gave me some good advice, and you are a lawyer.
Well,
and
thank you, Don. Thank you, Don. You've encouraged the listening audience today. A little advice can go a long, long way. I love to hear that you took the advice and that problem worked out. And you had to take the proactive. Did he have to take the proactive approach?
If he's smart, he did.
You listened and you moved, and I guess he got the problem resolved. Thank you so much, and we're telling everybody. And Don will agree with us.
Absolutely. Kevin, we just have about 2 minutes left. I just wanted to ask you too. What if you have a dispute, say with your neighbor, and maybe you have a great relationship with the neighbor, but if there is a dispute over your property, so whatever the dispute is, should you approach that neighbor first, or should you call a lawyer and say, I've got this problem, you handle it?
You are on it, Chuck. He is on it. I don't want to have a problem with the neighbor. So I would make an appointment. I would talk to my lawyer privately, and he and I would discuss our options. We discuss the pro and con of Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, and if that didn't work, Kevin Kennedy's going to come up with Plan D. And then, because if you come off ill-prepared, you could cause hard feelings for a lifetime. They say good fences make good neighbors. And it's kind of like family members. I said, you let the other spouse take care of their family, we'll take care of ours. And if y'all kind of stay over there and we'll stay over here, we won't ever have a problem. And that's one of the problems with a man. I own lots of properties. Almost every property, if you own it a long time, there's going to be a little issue somewhere.
And the neighbor is going to be the neighbor for a long time a lot of times, so you got to keep that in mind.
Yes, yes.
All right, Kevin, we've got just about 30 seconds left. I always like to give your closing words of wisdom. What is on your mind this evening?
Here we go. All across the state, when I talk to different clerks, they say that it's very agitated in the court system, in the clerk's office. I feel it in the corridors. So that's where we find ourselves. Cooler heads prevail. You say, Kev, that's not legal. I'm here to tell you it's very legal. You can escalate a situation or you can calm it down. It's been said, pour water on the fire, not gasoline. So, you know, Jesus said, blessed are the peacekeepers. They'll be called the children of God.
I love that, the peacekeepers. As always, Kevin, love your advice, love your words of wisdom. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to tell you how you can contact the Kennedy Law Firm right after this.